My name is Michael Wyant, and I have the privilege of being the director of Dickson Mounds Museum. And I'd like to welcome all of you to this extraordinary facility in the middle of nowhere. This building is a remarkable place, and our notion is if we were 10 minutes outside of Peoria, it would be overrun by people, which means that being out here is a better thing, because only the people who really want to come and take great advantage of it come to this place. We'll welcome you today to come here. The museum is part of an extraordinary enterprise, which has grown up over the last 6 or 7 years. What we call this today, in a broad sense, is the Emiquon campus. Most of you know, I suspect, the large body of water that you saw as you drove up towards the museum is part of an incredible enterprise of revitalizing, restoring the Illinois River floodplain, undertaken by the Nature Conservancy and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Having a museum on the boundary of that event is an extraordinary opportunity, not only for the museum, but it's turned out to be a lucrative opportunity for everyone involved. So the campus now, in its current construction, is a combination of the Nature Conservancy, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the University of Illinois at Springfield, which has a new field station that's located a little bit to our north and east, and the Department of Natural Resources through the Illinois State Museum down to this institution, Dickson Mounds Museum. As we conceive this campus, we see this place as a remarkable opportunity to learn. And you pick the subject. It can go from anthropology to zoology and everything in between. This enterprise you're involved in today, the Corps of Discovery, the Emiquon Corps of Discovery, is really the first curriculum that grew out of this opportunity. The inspired vision of our instructors today, Michael Jefford and Sue Post, and I'll let them speak if they choose about all of the roots of the inspiration of this, but it brought together 40 people with an inclination and a curiosity to learn about how one not only enriches themselves in their ability to express, but also to see. And so this becomes the second installment of that opportunity that I can see right now from a room full of people, that it's still a mightily inspired view, one that's shared by many. I think it's rare for those of us who spent an awful lot of our lives in classrooms, mostly as the victims of professors, and now the one who metes out the punishment. There is an enormous range of people who come to the academy who have pedagogical skills that are extraordinary. And I think the ones that rise to the top are those who have not only remarkable talents as scientists, as researchers, as investigators, as people curious about the world, but then also in other skills. And when you go to the Institute of Resource Sustainability at the University of Illinois, where both Sue and Michael are resident now as part of the Illinois Natural History Survey, I was intrigued by Michael's description, which is, number one, entomologist. So he has scientific credentials that allow him to speak with great authority on a variety of subjects. Two, public relations, which means that somehow he's figured out to go from his academic speak to one in which the public consume. And then third, educating, which says it all then. It gives you the range from someone who is at once comfortable in a quiet place studying the behavior of creatures to one in which there's a comfort of standing in front of other organisms and articulating what they know. There are not many professors who have that reach. And so that is a great thing. Now, I must pull Sue's leg only slightly, because under her title it says Biological Control Specialist. I'm a little worried about that. Maybe, for those of you, perhaps this crowd isn't one to talk about Men in Black, the movie, but if you saw it, you know that Tommy Lee Jones has a pen, And he pushes it every once in a while, it emits a red light, and everything that you've just witnessed is vanished from your mind. So I wonder if Sue is here in that kind of capacity. If you go farther, though, what you realize is she is a scientist in her own right, one of considerable breadth and skill. Today, perhaps has a challenge that I hope you, if you know something about it, then you recognize the gravity of it. If you don't know much about it, you will soon learn the gravity of it, because what's happening right now, as we are here, is in a sense a silent revolution. And it's a silent revolution of the landscape. The landscape is being transformed in ways that you drive by that you may not visibly recognize. But anybody who walks in the woods recognizes now that there are a whole variety of plants that are there now that were never there before. And what's alarming about them is that they are spreading with an unbelievable tenacity, voracious tenacity. And so Sue's scientific and academic prowess comes in addressing the questions about how you deal with invasives, species that now, as the globe gets smaller, become an everyday kind of problem for us. So I would submit to you that the two instructors that we have today fit every breadth of the concept of people, Renaissance people who have their fingers and minds in many different parts of the world and how it works, and have that added gift of being able to take that and articulate it to you, which they're going to do in spades for the next 4 times that you're with them. I think I see immediately that the application of that skill is well placed, because obviously you're here because you have Renaissance philosophy. I know some of you, and you come from many different walks of life. But obviously your curiosity is not bound by your profession or by your undertaking. It is expanded to a point where you're in this room because you want to hear 2 people talk and enrich you and engage you in ways above and beyond what you experience every day. I would tell you, knowing both of these people for some time now, that you couldn't be in better hands. So with that, I don't know who I'm turning the stage over, but Michael will move forward, and good to see you at Dickson Mounds.